The boxing world is buzzing with anticipation for the rematch between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Lamont Roach, scheduled for August 16, 2025. Their first encounter ended in a controversial majority draw, leaving fans, analysts, and fighters divided on who truly deserved the win. The debate has only intensified as both camps prepare for the second fight, with new developments in training, mindset, and public perception shaping the narrative. This rematch isn't just about settling a score. It's about proving who has evolved more since their last meeting and whether Davis can reclaim his dominance or if Roach will solidify his case as a legitimate threat. The first fight, which took place in March, was a tactical chess match that defied expectations. Many viewed Davis, a multi-division world champion known for his devastating knockout power, as the clear favorite. Roach, however, proved to be a formidable opponent, matching Davis's speed, landing clean shots, and exposing vulnerabilities that few had seen in the Baltimore native. The fight ended with one judge scoring it for Davis, while the other two called it even, sparking heated discussions about scoring, preparation, and whether Davis underestimated his opponent. A pivotal moment came in the ninth round when Roach landed a crisp jab that sent Davis to the canvas. Referee Steve Willis ruled it a slip, but Roach's team and many observers believe it was a legitimate knockdown that could have tipped the scales in their favor. That moment has become a focal point for both camps, with Roach's team using it as motivation and Davis's side downplaying its significance, citing external factors like discomfort from his braids or even grease in his eye. Roach's preparation for the rematch has been marked by quiet discipline and subtle refinements. Training out of Gleason's gym in Brooklyn, where he remained after the first fight, Roach has focused on sharpening his already impressive skill set. Recent footage from his camp, recorded just days ago, shows a fighter who has made noticeable improvements. His pad work is crisper, with tighter combinations and better balance after each exchange. Unlike the first fight, where he sometimes retreated after engaging, Roach is now holding the center of the ring, using pivots to maintain position rather than circling out. He's also emphasizing body shots, a shift from his headhunting approach in March, which allowed Davis to reset too easily between rounds. Observers at Gleason's note that Roach is stepping into his punches with more purpose, resetting without drifting, and staying upright in exchanges rather than dipping into counters. These adjustments suggest a fighter who has studied the first fight meticulously and identified areas to exploit. Roach's training regimen is intense but understated. He's sparring 3 days a week, running at least 5, and incorporating resistance drills and anaerobic tests to monitor his recovery between rounds. His father, who serves as his trainer, has kept the camp small and focused, avoiding media workouts or extensive interviews. This low-key approach contrasts with the typical hype surrounding a high-profile rematch, but it aligns with Roach's mindset. He's not chasing a knockout or making bold predictions. Instead, he's prioritizing volume, control, and technical precision. In a recent interview, Roach acknowledged the need to do more to secure a decisive victory. "I have to push harder, train harder, be more mean, more physical," he said. "I have to do everything just a little more to get over the hump." His words reflect a fighter who believes he's close to a breakthrough but understands the fine margins that separate a draw from a win. On the other side, Davis's camp has undergone a noticeable shift in tone and strategy. Known for his laid-back approach and open workouts in past camps, Davis has tightened access to his training sessions. Where he once shared sparring footage, pad work clips, and strength training updates on social media, his accounts have gone silent. Gym sessions that were occasionally open to observers are now fully closed, with no new media footage emerging. This change coincided with the release of Roach's training video, which seems to have struck a nerve. According to sources close to his camp, including strength coach Lorenzo "Truck" Simpson, Davis is preparing with a level of urgency not seen in recent years. He's brought in 2 new sparring partners, both smaller, quick-handed pressure fighters with builds and styles similar to Roach's. One, Baltimore-based featherweight Dorian Bostic, is known for his high output and tight inside work. The other, a lesser-known 130-pounder from New Jersey, mirrors Roach's high-activity, short-range approach. These choices indicate that Davis is bracing for a sustained, high-pressure fight rather than banking on an early knockout. Davis's physical preparation has also evolved. His camp has shifted to early morning road work, moving from mid-morning runs to pre-sunrise sessions to build endurance. Simpson has emphasized glute, hamstring, and calf exercises to enhance lateral movement and reduce late-fight fatigue. Sparring sessions now simulate longer fight stretches with shorter rest periods, suggesting Davis expects a grueling 12-round battle. This is a departure from his usual reliance on explosive power and early finishes. The changes point to a camp that recognizes Roach's improvements and is adapting to counter them. However, there's an undercurrent of tension in Davis's preparation. People around the gym describe him as quieter and more focused than usual, a contrast to his typically brash demeanor. This shift could signal a renewed commitment, but it also hints at the pressure he faces after the draw. The narrative around Davis has shifted significantly since the first fight. Once viewed as an untouchable force, he's now being scrutinized for signs of decline or distraction. His comments before the first fight about retirement and giving Roach too much respect raised eyebrows, with some, like WBC light heavyweight champion David Benavidez, suggesting he lacked focus. "That wasn't the same Gervonta Davis we're used to seeing," Benavidez said on the Pound for Pound podcast. "He was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much and talking about retiring. That's not the mindset of a prime fighter." Clarissa Shields echoed this sentiment, telling Fight Hub TV that Davis's frustrations outside the ring might be affecting his performance. "Sometimes anger helps you in a fight, but you have to know how to use it," she said. "He's so frustrated with other parts of his life that it's hard for him to use it all in the ring." Even Joe Rogan, typically focused on MMA, weighed in on his podcast, noting that the draw was legitimate and that Roach could have won. "There's a point where the greats stop being what they were," Rogan said, a comment that resonates in the context of Davis's recent performance. The haircut has become a symbolic flashpoint in the build-up to the rematch. Davis recently posted a photo showing his signature braids gone, replaced by a short cut that fans associate with his earlier, hungrier days. The change sparked a flurry of reactions on social media, with comments like, "Shortcut Tank is back," and "Roach is in trouble." In the first fight, Davis claimed his long braids caused discomfort, even suggesting they contributed to the ninth-round incident. While replays show Roach landed a clean shot, the braid narrative has persisted, and the haircut is being interpreted as a sign of renewed focus. However, as Shields pointed out, a cosmetic change alone won't address the deeper questions about Davis's preparation and mental state. Roach, meanwhile, has stayed out of the spotlight, letting his training video speak for itself. The footage, which circulated among boxing insiders rather than being pushed to mainstream outlets, was a calculated move by his team. It showcased his technical improvements without the need for hype or trash talk. Roach's comments about the first fight reflect a fighter who respects Davis but believes he can outperform him. "I fought the best Gervonta that night," he said. "He's a hell of a fighter with great IQ and punching power, but I think he felt my power too." Roach's confidence stems from his ability to go 12 rounds with Davis, take his best shots, and still land clean punches. He also revealed a moment of gamesmanship in the later rounds, where he taunted Davis after a body shot, saying, "I thought you hit harder than that." That exchange underscores the mutual respect but also the competitive edge that defines their rivalry. The boxing community's opinions on the rematch are split. Shakur Stevenson, who sparred with Roach and picked him to perform well in the first fight, believes Roach could win again. "I knew his style would give Tank problems," Stevenson said, adding that he thinks a loss to Roach would damage Davis's reputation, especially if Stevenson fights him later. Roy Jones Jr. offered a more balanced take, suggesting Roach could shock the world again but that Davis's renewed motivation might make him more dominant. Jake Paul, ever the provocateur, dismissed Davis's aura, claiming it would only take the right boxer to tear him apart. While Paul's boxing credentials are limited, his comments reflect a growing sentiment among some fans that Davis's invincibility is fading. The rematch's outcome hinges on how each fighter capitalizes on their adjustments. For Roach, it's about maintaining discipline, increasing his work rate, and exploiting Davis's tendency to fade late. His focus on body shots and holding the center could disrupt Davis's rhythm and force him to fight at an uncomfortable pace. For Davis, it's about rediscovering the explosiveness and focus that made him a star. His camp's emphasis on endurance and pressure-oriented sparring suggests he's preparing for a war, not a highlight reel knockout. The haircut, the closed sessions, and the early morning runs all point to a fighter trying to silence doubts, but the pressure of public perception and the first fight's outcome loom large. As August 16th approaches, the contrast between the two camps is stark. Roach is refining, staying consistent, and making incremental gains in a familiar environment. Davis is reacting, restructuring his approach, and grappling with the weight of expectations. The first fight exposed cracks in Davis's armor, but it also showed Roach's ability to compete at the highest level. Whether Davis can reclaim his dominance or Roach can pull off the upset will depend on who executes their game plan better under the bright lights. For now, the boxing world watches closely, knowing this rematch could redefine both fighters' legacies.